Assume I'm a customer onboarding manager at a bank. In my role, I want to keep track of the volume of work, the time to onboard, the cost to onboard. I also want to keep an eye on my key performance indicators, like I can see the time to onboard is in the red, and on all the critical controls that are violated, such as a segregation of duties. This is a process intelligence dashboard, one I can quickly put together via drag and drop because Apromore is completely no code. But now, let's see what happens in this process under the hood. Let me ask Apromore to automatically discover the actual process flow. So now I can see what gets done and when, from the time the onboarding request is received and the case is submitted, all the way until the case is closed and the account is open. I can see the volume of work. I can ask Apromore to show me all the possible pathways that I've observed in the data of this process that I've ingested into Apromore. And I can ask Apromore to visualize right in the center the backbone, the most frequent pathway traversed by the majority of cases. But even when I reduce the complexity, Apromore can still focus on what matters the most. Besides the volume of work, I can see the duration statistics, for example, the bottlenecks or the long waiting times, or to show me where I have the highest total rework waste. Not only the activities in this process, I can switch perspective and look at the roles that participate in this process. This is all in the data of my bank. In the users or agents that participates in this process, and also the systems this process spans. And all these perspectives are actually linked together. For example, I can focus on Salesforce and show the bit of the process that is performed within this system. Now I can see that activity-informed customer is particularly slow, so let's drill into that. And let's have a look at the users that perform that activity and their role. All this information, including the attributes that come with this dataset, such as the account type, the application origin, the risk category, etc., they all become part of a curated process context that we call the Process 360 context that Apromore builds from my transactional data. Now I can put that context to good use by feeding that into Agentforce. So I can have a conversation about my business process. So Agentforce, show me the KPIs for this process. Agentforce is now tapping into a series of capabilities powered by Apromore that we've exposed to Agentforce, such as root cause analysis, what-if analysis, and the optimization engine. So I can see, as I said before, the time to onboard is in the red. So what's going to be my next question? How can I improve my time to onboard KPI? Here we go. Weekend processing gaps. Late week application submissions create systematic delays that affects 80% of the cases. High-risk customers face 100% failure rates, and even certain resources that, when involved, amplify the problem. Suggestion: implement weekend processing for late week applications and automate the call meet customer activity for standard cases. You see, it gives me some automation insights, but let's be a bit more ambitious here. Agentforce, give me a roadmap to reimagine this process with a focus on reducing operating costs. Among others, tell me where to agentify the process and give me a detailed list of skills required. There you go. Key cost drivers to address. Gather documentation. That's right, here in the process. Gather documentation. Perform customer due diligence, approve CDD, etc., etc. Recommended AI agents. Agent 1, Document Intelligence Agent. Target activities, gather documentation, that's here, and amend documentation, that's up there. Cost impact, 2.02 million, 27% of the total cost. Required skills, OCR for ID documents, utility bills, business certificates, NLP for extracting structured data from a structured document, document classification and validation, etc., etc. Agent 2, Agent 3, Agent 4, a whole roadmap knowing exactly where I should place and what the impact on cost should be. Here is a summary of the expected impact. and a priority list, phase 1 quick wins, phase 2 rework elimination, phase 3 customer experience. A whole roadmap organized by impact priority. Now let's test out some of these ideas by running a simulation. Agentforce, what's the impact of automating gather documentation with an agent on total operating cost? And let's bring back time to onboard. Now Agentforce is going to call the simulation capability of Apromore to run our if scenario where I put an agent to automate that particular task. Here there's no hallucination, it's deterministic Monte Carlo based simulation. Automatic gather documentation with an agent delivers significant improvements to both cost and cycle time. Minus 2.25 millions, around 30% reduction on operating cost, and impact on cycle time from 1.37 days down to nearly 1 day. So this is Agentforce powered by Apromore. Your processes reimagined and agentifies with a direct link to ROI.